What's up, Monobrats? It's Spiritual Body, and welcome to part 2 of What If Naruto had the gamer's ability, or What If Naruto was the gamer? What do you want to call it? But yeah, this is part 2 of that series, and the part 1 has received a lot of likes, so I'm doing part 2. And this series has a much more potential than any other series because honestly, I can make Naruto whatever he wants from this point on because Naruto has felt the betrayal that he didn't acknowledge in the canon storyline because Iruka said he believed in him and he sympathized with him, which Naruto thought was enough. And since Naruto was so hungry for acknowledgement, he just shrugged off the betrayal that the Hokage and Iruka did to him. But since this Naruto is much more calmer because of the gamer mind, which I'll be introducing in a couple of minutes. But yeah, because of this Naruto having gamer mind, he's easily able to be much more calm. Meaning, when Iruka says that he's like sympathizes with Naruto just like bloods out of him because honestly that part of the scene where Iruka sympathized with Naruto, it kind of pissed me off because Iruka, sure, he was alone and stuff like that, but he knew his parents. Naruto knew nothing about his parents, and Naruto was hated by the entire village, but Iruka did not get hate. Naruto's reasons were entirely different from Iruka, and Iruka saying that he was able to sympathize with Naruto was the biggest reason I hate Iruka. But normally he's like chill guy because we don't really get his story a lot other than the fact that his parents are dead because of the QB, and he's not the most interesting character, but he's just a character who was forgotten in the later episodes, and he would just be like a one-off character coming here and there giving Naruto tips here and there. Other than that, nothing else. So yeah, I'm just gonna remove that from this Naruto, and you're gonna see how this betrayal affects Naruto in the future. And if you guys are gonna think that Naruto is gonna do very a thing that he would not do in the canon storyline, you would be true. But what it would be, that would be a spoiler. But that would be that would be a secret. So here's a spoiler. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get watching. So our story would start up after Naruto has just come back to his home after the whole revelation with Mizuki and getting to know that he's Nine Tails Fox, as well as this new ability that he's gained, which he wants to kind of get to know what it is. But yeah, he first has an important thing to do. So after he locks his door so no one would come in or sneak him or something, he goes to the bathroom and removes his shirt. Not completely, but yeah, he removes the shirt, and knowing about seals, like he has like a high level 78. Okay, that's humongous. He's a prodigy. He's not a prodigy, he's a master in seal. It's not a grandmaster like Kushina or Minato, but he's a seal master like Jiraiya. And even if someone of you guys say to me that Jiraiya is better seal master than Kushina and Minato, I'm gonna slap you. Minato is nowhere near as good as Kushina, who's a seal prodigy known. She's the best seal master except for Mito and the elder of the Uzumaki clan. So yeah, she's the best seal master, and just below her is Minato, who has been learning from her, and just below him is Jiraiya, who learned sealing from Minato. Because I don't think Jiraiya started learning sealing Jiraiya learned. I'm not going to blabbering about it. Why the hell am I blabbering about Jiraiya? But anyways, he knows how sealing works, so he adds chakra to his body, which he also knows that is easily able to move his body. So he doesn't know where the seal is, so he just adds chakra surrounding his body, which reveals the seal, which is in his stomach. Naruto looks at it in the mirror, capturing every single detail about it, which also gives pop to, which also makes blue screen pop up, and it tells Naruto that the seal making skill has been leveled up twice. And I'm not gonna like always say what the pop-up has done. I'm just gonna give a basic overview of it, because it is very tiring as well as time consuming to say what it did. So I'm just gonna give a basic overview of it as well as the stats and stuff like that, like after I've explained it what and what is what. But yeah, and this two levels is enough for Naruto to realize that a seal a key is there for this eight diagram seal, and he doesn't know where the hell that is, and he needs to find it because the QB is stuck inside him. He needs the seal and he doesn't trust anyone, no one, because well, he has been like betrayed twice by two other he betrayed like by two people, so he doesn't trust anyone. So yeah, he wants this he wants the key in his hands, so well, because he doesn't trust anyone. So yeah, so after wearing back his shirt, he would go to the bedroom where he would sit down and would think about everything that has happened today. Not especially, he would just push the betrayal thing off his back because well, he has like removed it out of his system, and he has accepted the fact that the Hokage and Iruka have betrayed him and like betrayed his trust and lied to him in his face. So yes, so he does so but then he comes across then he remembers the whole box thing, but he doesn't know how the hell he's gonna like activate it. But that's when a black box appears in front of him. This box is different from the blue box because well, it is black but it's a white outlining given to the text. It is basically said, would you like to access the tutorial Y/N? Now Naruto doesn't know what to make of it, but seeing tutorial, he just like thinks that it's some kind of introduction to the whole box thing, and Y and N, he just devises that Y is for yes and N is for no. So he just like just mentally says Y yes, which the system takes as yes, and a box opens which is blue and black outlining in the text, and it's the biggest text that says is called menu. Now there are other subdivisions of it, but Naruto doesn't know what subdivision is right now. But yeah, there are subdivisions of it, and there are a total of 5 options more or less. The first is status, the second is skills, third is perks, the fourth is inventory, and the fifth is options. Now Naruto not knowing what it is, there's another box comes in that it telling him to click on stats. So he clicks, and the box that had the menu on it like disappears, and another box pops up, which is a bigger one but similar to the one which he got while using observe on Iruka. Similar but different as well. It has his star, the box has his name, title, level, HP, CP, STR, BIT, DEX, INT, WIS, LUK, and free SP, which he doesn't know what the hell that is. But yeah, then there's a bio. There's a box written in bio, which he doesn't know what that is. But after reading it, it basically says that Uzumaki Naruto, a genin of Konohagakure no Sato, has his life, and is Uzumaki Naruto, the genin, the newly made genin of Konohagakure no Sato, has the nine-tailed fox inside of him. His life has always been clouded by mystery and with lies, and it is upon himself to uncover them. And this small intro, Naruto just thinks this is kind of introduction to his whole character or something, and it is honestly very accurate. And the whole question that being to uncover the truth, he makes that his goal currently, to uncover the truth surrounding him and the system. So he then checks his other stats, the all everything that is above the bio. The first is his name, which is Naruto Uzumaki, which is correct. The second is title, which is written the gamer. Now the Naruto doesn't know what the hell the gamer is, but he thinks that's the box thingy. He's a box thingy. He doesn't know what it's called, but yeah. The next is level or LVL, but Naruto doesn't know what LVL is since he didn't see it in Iruka's box. So he looks at it, but that's when a small pop-up comes in explaining what LVL is. So LVL is basically a level, which is an instrument used to measure the masterability, not the adaptability, more or less, the amount of skill or level possessed by a person. Basically, if the level is in the skill section, it is basically how much info you know about the skill and how good you are in using it. But if it is in the stats, it is basically your amount of strength. This is interesting. So basically there's a level system for our skills also, but he decides to like do it look it up afterwards. So next he goes to HP, which another box pops up saying health points, which is the long form for HP, and the point which is given to it is 600/600, which is interesting. So he has 600 health points. Interesting. Then he goes to CP, which is chakra points, which is 5,000. Interestingly, he thinks it is high because it is in the thousands, other than all of his stats, because the second highest stat he has is HP, which is at 600, and all the other stats are like in below 100. So he thinks CP is high, but he doesn't have any reference to look it up. So yeah. The next is STR, which, as he guessed while looking at Iruka's box, it means strength, and his strength level is 12, and he doesn't know if it is good or not, because as I said before, he doesn't have anything to compare with it. Next is VIT, which is vitality, basically his life expectancy, basically his life points, basically. And it is 60, and he thinks that this is high because this is the third highest point that he has. So next is DEX, which is dexterity, basically the precision and speed and flexibility. Is basically all these stats combined. It's called dexterity, and the point, he has 22 dexterity points, basically combining a speed, flexibility and precision in anything. Next is INT, which is intelligence, and he has 19 points. Now this is where he stops, and noticing how like intelligent is, he has 19 intelligence points. But that's when he remembers all the start points he got just a couple of hours prior. When he was studying the seal, he got these new start points, which he remembered was 12. Then he got another start point when he found out that he had the 90 seed inside of him, and another start point when he just recently completed another start point when he blamed the Hokage, finally realized what the hell happened. So he got a total of 14 points in this couple of hours. So if he subtracts the 14 points with the given 19 points, he had an intelligence of 5, which is kind of concerning for him, because he thinks like 5 is weak, because he doesn't have any one to compare with. So he just thinks that his 5 is weak, and he doesn't know his and this kind of makes sense because everyone calls him an idiot, which he doesn't like mind at all. But now thinking about it, and him having like 5 start points in intelligence before he got new intelligence points while studying the seal, it's kind of concerning. But thank God he has more intelligence points. The next is WIS, which is wisdom. It's basically your precision in chakra and your amount of knowledge which you are able to pass on, or the amount of common sense which you are able to use. Yes, vis is basically wisdom, which is basically meaning common sense. And don't intertwine intelligence and common sense with each other. They are both different. If you guys want an example, have Sakura phone. Her intelligence is high, but she doesn't have common sense. Before Shippuden, she's really an idiot, even more so than Naruto. Yes, stupid is basically called a person who's not smart. An idiot is a person who doesn't have much common sense, if you guys didn't know. So, yeah, Sakura is an idiot, but not stupid. But yeah, anyways, let's continue. So, LUK, which is defined as luck, is for question mark. It is given question mark for him, and he doesn't know what it is, why it is given question mark, but he ain't gonna question it. You know how the right rhyme. But then there's another point which is named free SP, and after clicking it, it asks him a stat points, and that's when he realizes that these points given to these different type of different type of categories like strength or strength, vitality, or intelligence is stat points, and each has different start points. So he's not going to call them points anymore. He's just going to call them SP or start points, which is much more easy to understand for him. So, and he has 25 free start points, and he doesn't know how the hell he got it, but he can kind of make a theory about it. Basically, he remembers that he got a message where he leveled up like 5 times. So the starting level was level 1, and since he is in the current level of level 6, meaning he got 5 levels, and with this humongously amount of new calculations, he's able to realize that each level has 5 start points. And that's when another message pops up telling a point has been added to intelligence, which does add. He just sees it adding into his intelligence, which gives him gives his INT 20 start points. Interestingly, he's growing and while thinking. So yeah, now after finally understanding what each and everything means, as well as finally understanding what these points are, now he wants to go to the other stats that he has been given. So he doesn't know how to go, but he remembers the menu which was given. So he asks menu, and the box that had his status closes, and the box opens up with the name of menu. And he also knows that it is voice. It can be controlled by the voice, which is interesting. It can be controlled by thoughts and voice. So the second is skills, and he remembers that there was whenever he got skills, especially shadow clone, multi shadow clone, and seal making, there were skills written on the board, not written, basically typed on, whatever you want to call it. So it was like interested, no, it was it was typed on the box. So he just kind of makes 2 and 2 together and realizes that these skills are the jutsus that he has. He doesn't know if it's called jutsus or not, because he doesn't know that seal making is a jutsu, because he doesn't know about funjutsu. So yeah, he clicks on his skills, and a tab opens up with interestingly new skills. Well, first is Gamer Mind, and after reading the introduction which is given below, he's thankful. He's literally thankful for this this skill. Basically, the Gamer Mind allows the user to have complete immunity to mental restriction. Basically, any genjutsu passed on him is not going to be effective. Number 1. Number 2, it calms him and lets him think clearly. And number 3, it removes negative emotions. Basically, useless emotions that are not needed for his body is removed, which is good. So he thanks the skill. This is the skill that let him be calm the entire time while facing the Hokage and while facing the truth that he had the Nine Tails inside of him. The next is Shadow Gamer's body, which basically changes his body into a body of a gamer where he can't break bones, but his HP, when the health points, whenever it goes zero, he dies, so he has to like take care of it. But yeah, his stat points can his status, which he doesn't know what it is currently, his status can be healed whenever he sleeps. So any injury he received can be automatically wiped off from his body whenever he sleeps, which is kind of an overpowered ability if he thinks about it correctly. So next is Shadow Clone Jutsu, which the definition is same given by the scroll. The next is Multi Shadow Clone Jutsu, but that's when he notices something. Level. The first two skills, that being Gamer Body and Gamer Mind, have the title LVL-MAX, basically meaning that they are completely at max level. The third skill, being Shadow Clone, is at level 1, interestingly, but the Multi Shadow Clone is at level 20. Yeah, interestingly, and not knowing what he needs to, how the hell it happened, that's when he remembers how he used the skill, which like he had a notification about it, how it gained levels. So this is the skill that he got it from. And next is seal making, which is at level 80 now. Before he thought it was with his calculations again, he realized that he got to the two levels that he did for level 80 currently, while analyzing this seal that was placed inside of his body in the bathroom. So yeah, he got two levels for that. So his previous level was 78, which is interesting. The next is called Observe, which is the same skill that he got, while he doesn't know how he got it, but yeah, the same skill he used with Iruka, and he got his status box and stuff, which is at level 2. The next is Shadow Shuriken Jutsu, which is, as it said, the combination of Shadow Clone as well as Shuriken Throwing Jutsu, which is, well, interestingly, at level 10. The next is Kunai and Shuriken Jutsu. Now, he does not know what the hell this is, but yeah, basically, after reading the definition, realizes that this skill helps him like throw better with Shuriken and Kunai, which is interesting, and it is at level 2, interestingly. Then next, or that's it, there's no next actually. So Naruto is, well, satisfied with this, so he goes back to menu and thinks about the next, which is perks. Now after this is the thing that he doesn't make sense because he doesn't know what perks really means. So he clicks on perks, which opens up a new table, and there is two specific perks actually. Number one is called Uzumaki Bloodline, which gives him vitality plus dexterity and plus CP. Interestingly, he doesn't know what that is, but that's when another tab opens up explaining what perk really means. Basically, perks are achievements or bloodline limits or whatever you want to call them. It's the given inside their body, and it would boost their already stats, giving them like much more stats. So it's interesting to realize this. But yeah, Uzumaki, but the thing that concerns him is there's a perk named Uzumaki. Why the hell does his surname have a perk which gives him plus vitality, plus dexterity, and chakra points? Why does this perk, a surname which doesn't have any meaning to it, give him perk? Now it's kind of confusing but also intriguing, and remembering that Hiruzen lied to him and the whole his past mystery kind of stuff given in his bio, he makes a point of this, remembers this to find it out if he's like the Suzumakis were some kind of clan or something, because that's the only real option that he can come to the conclusion to. The next is kind of scary and kind of irritating at the same time. It's called Jinchuriki. Basically, it gives points to status. It gives points to the stats, basically strength, vitality, dexterity, and HP and CP. All these points get a power boost when a small plus sign given to each other, but it also gives minus to intelligence, which is kind of confusing, meaning this Jinchuriki status gives him the ability to, well, the boost near for all the stats, but except for intelligence, which is reduces. Also, it gives the status for pariah, which is, he doesn't know what that is, but basically after clicking about it, there's another stat comes in which explains what pariah really means. So if you guys don't know what pariah really means, it's basically a person who's shoved by an entire clan or a village, a person who's lonely, more or less, which kind of makes him. And the Jinchuriki perk is giving him this, and he just he doesn't know what to do right now, so he just exits the perk ability, and then he goes to inventory, which gives him a box, and there's uh, another box coming in explaining what the inventory is. So inventory is basically subspace which has infinite capability to store anything, and each box separate one item. Interesting. That's very interesting and a super useful cheat, super useful thing. So he goes back and then he clicks on options, and the options are interesting, more or less. Number one is, well, there are not many options. There are few options which interest him, namely HUD vision, which after reading the what the definition is, he activates. So basically the HUD vision shows the user the vital HP and CP of a person of the player in their eyes corner. So yeah, it is, he doesn't need to go to stats over and over again to check how many chakra he has spent or how much life he has left, which is interesting. And the next is notification, which he was annoyed by. So there are three options. Number one, all; second is important; and third is none. And the system has already selected one, which is darkened, which is black. All the other texts are white, so it is texted as all, which is, well, he realizes that the notification is set at all, so he clicks on inventory in important, which changes the selection, and then he there's a down thing named save, which he clicks, and the box opens with the menu surrounding him. And Naruto, not well, seeing nothing really changing, so he closes the box, by just thinking to cancel it, and just turns around and is gonna go to sleep by closing his eyes, thinking how he's gonna go to sleep with all these things happening to him. But he slowly drifts to sleep with one thing on his head before he goes to sleep: gamer mind is making me sleep. And a couple of hours, mostly 6 hours later, Naruto wakes up with a notification in front of his face. He has slept. HP and CP are restored to full health. Naruto, who's fully awake for some odd reason, which he normally wouldn't be, and he just and he realizes that everything that has happened before is not a game. The whole betrayal thing is not an imaginary thing that he dreamt, nor is the fact that the system, as he's now calling it, is fake. So he just goes to stats, like revising it, everything. But that's when he comes across free stat points, which he ignored it last time. So yeah, the stat points that he has been given for free, which he has not touched, he decides to distribute it. So there's a small arrow which with every stat point which is forcing left and right, which Naruto thinks that it is for distributing stat points. So yeah, there's a plus for every stat except for luck, HP and CP, and level and title and name. So for STR, VIT, DEX, intelligence and wisdom, everything has a plus sign near them, meaning Naruto can like add and subtract maybe. So he decides to distribute it. First he decides to add 8 points to dexterity, so he could like bring it to 30, which he does, and he has reminder of 17 stats. Next he adds stats to wisdom to +2, and he has 15 total of stats. Then he adds 10 stats to strength, which gives him 5 amount of stats. Then he just adds the 5 stats to vitality, finishing him off. He didn't add the stats to intelligence because it's already 20, so he doesn't really need to do it. So yes, but he also realizes that the HP and CP is also evolved more or less. Basically he doesn't know how the hell they evolved. Basically his current HP is, yeah, his HP has evolved from 600 to 800, and his CP has evolved from 5000 to 5200, which is interestingly low for some odd reason. But yeah, Naruto cancels the stats before just before seeing a save point. So he clicks it and the stat closes, but that's when he feels energy in front of him, like energy comes in front of his body, making him powerful, which he feels. So Naruto gets up from his bed, does the morningly routine like brushing the teeth and stuff like that, taking a bath, and then puts on his yellow clothes, which he kind of finds disgusting because yellow clothes are not really for ninjas, which he finally learns because of Gamer Mind. And since even if his favorite is orange, it's still kind of annoying more or less. But yeah, Naruto still has to put it since he needs to buy a new dress or more or less. But then he takes the headband that was given to him by the Hokage and wears it on his head, and then goes out and closes the door, and then goes to the academy. And because today is the day of the team selection test, not test, basically team selection, which person would be in which team and with whom and with which sensei, that kind of stuff. So Naruto reaches the academy and he realizes that he is the second one there with with Shikamaru, the first one. Naruto just walks up, sits in a seat, and Shikamaru, like looking to the side, seeing Naruto, asks Naruto why the hell he's here. Naruto just points at his forehead, showing the headband, and just Shikamaru just mumbles troublesome and goes back to sleep. Naruto that's when looks at Shikamaru and whispers, "Observe," because he wants to see what Shikamaru's stats are. But then Naruto then turns away and sits in a brooding seat just like Sasuke would, but he doesn't really know he's like sitting like Sasuke. But yeah, he sees that Shikamaru's stats, basically everything is mostly the same. Every stat that he has is being given to him, but instead of Iruka, where everything was question mark except for his name and title and class, everything here is, well, given. The numbers are given. For the name it's Shikamaru Nara, the title is the Lazy Genius, and the level is level 8. Interestingly, then his HP is 150, chakra is 250, strength is minimum. His highest stat point is basically intelligence, which is at 65, basically the same stat that he has in vitality. So in Naruto's mind, basically his life expectancy is as strong or as statty or as strong as Shikamaru's intelligence, which is interesting and kind of weirdly irritating to think about. But yeah, Naruto just like closes the Shikamaru tab. That's when more and more people like come in. Naruto uses absorb on everyone who's coming in, and also learns their bio. Their bios are mostly not interesting except for a couple of people, but Naruto doesn't pay them any mind and see all the stats. And since he knows his stats and he's comparing to each stat, he's able to figure out who's what is which specialty. There are many people who have graduated who are very weak compared to him, even in intelligence and wisdom for some odd reason. But yeah, and that's when Kiba comes, whose stats are interestingly high. His strength is 20, his vitality is for 24, his dexterity is 65, which is the highest for him. His intelligence is 9 and his wisdom is 4, meaning Kiba is an idiot and stupid. While Naruto is not idiot and stupid because, well, his intelligence stat is high. So yeah, Hinata has more or less different stats, but yes, her level is level A, level 10, which is intriguingly high. Her start points are low, but and her vitality and start points are that not much high, basically in the mid 20s, but her dexterity is high as fuck. Her dexterity is just as him, level 30. Her intelligence is stronger than him, being level 24, and her wisdom is also stronger than him, which is being 24. Her luck, which is not being able to see, is not there. And then more and more student comes in. Naruto realizes that, well, he's among the top 8 or top 9, more or less. He's among the top 9 strongest people. Sorry, not top 9. He's among the top 5 in this academy section. Yeah, among the top 5 strongest person. Sasuke also comes in, and also after seeing Sasuke's stats, Naruto realizes the difference between Sasuke's and his abilities. Every skill that except for vitality and well, except for vitality and chakra points and HP, every thing Sasuke is better than him, which kind of pisses him out, but also makes him realize that he's not as great as he thought, which is enlightenment for him. But that's when the door opens and comes in two girls, that being Ino Yamanaka and Sakura Haruno. Naruto almost jumps at happiness, but he does realize that he isn't feeling happy for some odd reason. But that's when he remembers what the Gamer Mind said. It removes unwanted emotions. Love is an unwanted emotion for Naruto, or is love with Sakura an unwanted emotion? But he does make just whispers observe gaining what's her name, Ino and Sakura stats, while he still starts to brood and look at their stats. Honestly, they're pitiful. Sakura's stat, the only thing Sakura is high enough than him is her intelligence, which is at 32, and Sasuke's intelligence is at 34, meaning Sasuke is the smartest person, but her wisdom is even lower than him, which is at 8, meaning she's even more stupider than him, which is kind of interesting to think about, that Sakura, the top Konoichi in smarts, is stupider than him. But yeah, good for him, I guess. All the other stats is pitiful, and this also makes him realize why the hell he likes Sakura. He goes on a memory lane about why the hell he likes Sakura, and he realizes that she doesn't have any qualities. She doesn't have any damn qualities. While thinking about it, he feels someone staring at him. So he looks at where it is, but that's when he sees Hinata, who blushes. I mean, Naruto doesn't know what the hell blushes even means, but she turns red and just looks at the other way. Naruto just thinks what the hell happened, but he just continues brooding. But that's when Sakura comes in, to the place where Naruto is sitting, who sat beside Sasuke, or Sasuke sat beside Naruto, and Sakura starts screaming about how Naruto should get out of her seat so she could sit with Sasuke. Naruto just looks at Sakura and blinks. He never notices, but was Sakura this annoying before? Oh my god. Naruto thinking that he was in love with Sakura just was, oh my god, he was in love with this kind of person who was annoying as hell. Naruto, but it's like an internally thing, but while Naruto's keeping a passive face, Naruto just turns to Sasuke and asks him if Sakura wants to sit her, but Sasuke just says in the Uchiha way. Naruto just blinks at Sasuke for a few seconds, then turns to Sakura and says Sasuke does not want to sit here. And Sasuke just turns at Naruto, surprised that Naruto was able to like figure it out. But Naruto just made a fucking guess, so he didn't really figure it out what Sasuke was really saying. But Sasuke thinks that Naruto understood what he was saying, which kind of intrigues him, and also the fact that Naruto's here, where he was supposedly failed in the Guinea graduation exam. So yeah, it gives him a little intrigue to Naruto. So yes, so that's when the door opens and comes out a sensei which no one realizes. It's not Iruka, it's not Mizuki, it's just some random sensei. Sensei comes in and introduces himself as Genma and tells them that Iruka is at home because he has some light fever, but Mizuki is at the interrogation department. Sakura, being the weird as she is, asks why. That's when Genma tells them it was because he was a traitor and he was caught. Ino asking who. Genma just does not want to say this, but whatever. So he just points to Naruto, and Naruto just stares blankly at the finger pointed at him, and everyone looks at him with shock. Naruto caught a Chunin. Okay, Naruto caught a Chunin, which intrigues Sasuke even more. Now, Naruto is basically completely caught Sasuke's attention because Naruto was able to defeat a Chunin. Interestingly, Naruto just passively like starts actively like he's brooding more or less for everyone. Everyone thinks that Naruto is brooding, but Naruto is just silently thinking about his life, contemplating about his life, because Naruto is really going to contemplate about his life a lot, and I'm going to be saying that a lot. But yeah, Genma announces each the teams, and the teams would be the same, like Team 7 being Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura, Team 8 being Inochika Sho, Team 9 being question mark, Team 9 being Team Guy, and Team 10 being Hinata, Kiba and Shino. Everyone would be recruited by the sensei except for Team 7, who would be sitting and waiting for Kakashi. Naruto doesn't really have any problem with that, while he can start thinking about his new skills, the new ability. He starts thinking how the hell he got it, any type of recollection. But that's when Naruto remembers something. He got a shock. That shock has something to do with the system. So he just looks at it, opens his menu and just scrolls around his stats, basically. Like goes to stats, goes to skills, goes to perks, inventory, just here and there, because he's bored out of his mind. He wants to do something, and Kakashi isn't there. So yeah. Now what is Kakashi really doing though? He's not late because he's in the memorial stone, or he's like looking to other houses. I mean, his Genin's houses, basically. He goes to Sakura or Sasuke's or Naruto's houses to check how they live in. But Kakashi is currently in the Hokage's room talking with Hiruzen. So a flashback, when the Genin teams are announced, whoever has passed, and all the teachers like recommending who they want, Kakashi recommends Sasuke because Sasuke is the only person Kakashi is the only person who can train Sasuke with the help of Sharingan. Naruto because he thinks it is a duty to see to it that his sensei's son is well done, because it kind of gives him ability to repay his sensei. And third is Sakura because Kakashi really doesn't care who the third member is, so he just picks Sakura because she's the only one out of all of them who's really smart. And this team is going to be the Team 7, which is the Rookie of the Year, the Dead Last of the Year, and the Smartest Konoichi of the Year, which Kakashi is ready to take to. But Hiruzen, every Jonin sees that Hiruzen is distraught, fully distraught, discomfort. There's a small cloud upon Hiruzen's head. Basically, Hiruzen is literally broken. He just there's an emotional husk. Basically, Hiruzen is currently an emotional husk. His son Asuma asks what happened, but Hiruzen just doesn't say anything and continues doing his Hokage business, which kind of upsets Asuma because, well, he doesn't want, even if his father and him are not in the same page after these years, he still doesn't want his father to look like this. So, but he really knows that his father won't say anything to him, so he just leaves it by. Hiruzen tells Kakashi to wait while the other Guineas are dispersed because he wants to talk to him. What does Hiruzen want to talk to? Well, that's what we had to find out. So flashback end. Hiruzen starts talking to Kakashi and explaining how two people in his team are in a flight risk. Well, he knows that Sasuke is, but Naruto? Why the hell is Naruto on flight risk? Kakashi just massages his eyebrows and explains to him what really happened and what really happened. This, though, shocks Kakashi to the core. Telling that the Hokage has betrayed his trust is kind of scary because Naruto is kind of a person who doesn't have any family to rely on, and he sees Iruka as a big brother and Hiruzen as a grandfather figure, and saying that indirectly saying that he has cut off all that ties is kind of unbelievable to hear, but also scary to hear because Naruto does not have any bond connecting him to this village. He's even more of a flight risk than Sasuke. So that's why Hiruzen makes a point to say that he should be training Naruto and Sasuke equally. And that's when Kakashi asks about Sakura, but Hiruzen just doesn't care. Okay, he doesn't care about Sakura, which kind of surprises Kakashi because he thought that Hiruzen was going to be fair. But yeah, honestly, Kakashi can do whatever he wants with Sakura because currently Naruto and Sasuke are much more of a flight risk, and focusing on Sakura meaning it would lose time on focusing on Naruto and Sasuke, where they could be developing and making bonds and stuff. But the teamwork is important, and Sasuke, what do you mean? Say, yeah, Hiruzen would inform Kakashi to focus more on teamwork than anything, but do not forget about personal training too. Kakashi would not knew this new assignment, and he would Shunshin or teleport basically, more or less. He can't teleport like Minato, but basically it's like a C rank jutsu. Shunshin no Shisui, basically. If you guys know what Shunshin no Shisui is just like that. Kakashi Shunshins to the academy room and opens the door to see two people brooding, Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto doesn't really look that good while brooding, and Sakura is trying to talk with Naruto or Sasuke, who both are ignoring her, which kind of bums her really out because she thought Naruto would be talking to her, normally because Naruto has a crush on her and she knows, but Naruto isn't talking to her, so it's kind of bums him out. So he takes them all to the roof where he asks them to introduce themselves. Sakura goes where she blabbers her own thing, and she tells that she hates Naruto, and sees Naruto trying thinking that Naruto is going to be sulky about it, but Naruto is brooding. He's not showing any emotions. He's just brooding, not thinking about his life and stuff. Then Sasuke goes next, and he still has the same dreams and likes and dislikes which he did, which that really doesn't change. But he kind of keeps an eye on Naruto. He just gives glances on Naruto again and again, seeing what Naruto is trying to do. But that's when Naruto comes in. Naruto just looks at Kakashi, and that's when Naruto uses an observe on him and quickly reads through his stats, which is question mark. Except for the fact that only the name is visible to him, even the title and all the other stats are question mark for him. So Naruto just shrugs, and starts talking about himself. His name is Naruto UZUMAKI. He likes ramen. He dislikes things, and his goal, honestly, doesn't know. His goal is to learn the truth, more or less. He just thinks in his mind, his goal is to learn the truth, but outwardly he says that he doesn't have any goal right now, which number one confuses, shocks and confuses Sakura and Sasuke, and terrifies Kakashi because Kakashi knows that Naruto is always shouting to becoming Hokage, and Sakura asks this. Naruto just looks at her and asks, "Did I ask you about what my goal should be?" This coldness, this monotone voice that Naruto is showing, it kind of scares Sakura, so she backs off, and Sasuke gets his interest peaked even more. Kakashi then tells them about the belt test and dismisses them, but keeps a watch on Naruto. Naruto just gets up, cracks his knuckles and starts going home, but that's when he stops in the middle of the road. Kakashi thinking what's gonna happen. So Naruto then turns around and starts walking to a location which he does not know what that is, but after coming closer to it, he realizes that it is the library, which is confusing Kakashi because why the hell would Naruto even come to the library? So let's think about Naruto's predicament about why he's coming to the library. So Naruto, while brooding for 3 hours, thinks about his life, about how he doesn't have any intel about stuff, because that was the reason why he was lied to, he was so easily manipulated to. Because Naruto did not know and he was not interested in the knowledge that Iruka was giving him when he was in the academy, because he always thought that it was stupid. But now realizing that knowledge is very important for his goal, that being to know the truth, he realizes that he lacks sufficient knowledge. So he needs knowledge, but where does he find it? Then that's when he remembers there's the thing called library, which he needs to go and figure out. But how is he gonna get library? But that's when Kakashi comes in and takes them. And while Sasuke and Sakura are giving the introduction, Naruto just thinks about what he wants to do and the whole situation. He doesn't really come to an idea, but that's when Kakashi informs about the belt test tomorrow. So Naruto just starts walking around and about the belt test, about how it's 66% of them only pass, only 33% of them was, I don't know how many percent, but yeah, 33, only 9 teams 3 teams passing. So yeah, he wants to know how it is gonna be, so he needs knowledge, he needs it fast. So he needs to go to the library, but how is he gonna get knowledge fast? So that's when he opens the skills to figure out what he's gonna do. But that's when he sees a jutsu that is very familiar to him, that being multi-channel clone jutsu, and also remembering how it works and gives memory back to the user, as well as the fact that he has given mind which would cushion the environment, or cushion the side effect of the jutsu, that being headaches. Basically the more knowledge Naruto is gaining, the more headache he gains. But the gamer mind is able to cushion it, ease it completely. So Naruto just stops his way and turns to the library, and he enters the library. He goes to the civilian section and just unleashes 100 shadow clones, going to each and every section of the civilian section. And Naruto starts taking 2 to 3 books and starts reading. This goes for around the evening, with Naruto just telling each of them to poof out, and Naruto gets a stat bonus. He gets 10 points in intelligence, which is good for him, and a total of 30 intelligence. He has currently a total of 30 intelligence points, as well as 10 wisdom points. So he has total of 20 wisdom points in his status. So Naruto just stretches and cracks his knuckles, and pop sound comes, and he starts walking back to his house, and he gets inside and closes it. Now Kakashi though is surprised and was spying on Naruto for all this time, and seeing Naruto just using Shadow Clone like this is kind of terrifying. Naruto is basically a bundle of energy, chakra, because of the fact that he's a 9-tailed Jinchuriki. Add to that Naruto didn't even wince when all the knowledge came to him. Combining both of that fact, Naruto is going to be pretty strong if he starts using the Genin section. Because since he became a Genin, he has accessibility to the Genin section. Who knows if he's going to do it or not. But Naruto doesn't know that he has the accessibility to Genin, which is good for Kakashi and all the other ninjas that are in the village. So yeah, Kakashi goes back to the Hokage to report what he saw, and that's where we're going to leave for this episode, guys. If you guys like this video, like, share, subscribe, do the necessary stuff, and if you don't, I can understand. Peace out. So Anyways, so the next episode I'm gonna go through the Beltes and Zabuza, the Beltes and the Wave Arc, and after that we are gonna completely change the timeline forever. The fourth part is gonna be the most important part in the entirety of series, so keep on watch for that. So yeah, that's all for this episode, guys, and I'm blabbering the outro again and again, but yeah. If you guys like this video, like, share, subscribe, do the necessary stuff, and if you don't, I can understand. Peace out.